father captive? Is that
My sister as much as...
away from your gate? 混饺子! I'm not always running. You stood at a window and... But you chose those days to be a killer.
He thinks they're gonna kill us all if we...
Your help?
If it grows strong enough, it will break.
太危险了！
Oh!
救我！
上气，别卖。去吧。
Performance, now get down here, player.
Wish that were true. Your family needs... "如果神龙的灵魂被动，
去吧。
Day. Others. Done to their memory ancestors.
走好。
Go. And 1,000.
福的地方了，我的家乡。我们不管你是谁，一点本事。
That is exactly the daughter my mom.
How's it going?
就没有人会说。
我不想惹麻烦。
那就
Take a little bit of martial arts.
You really want to talk about this now?
Bus driver's down.
Good to go. On my signal. You and your sister.
Sorry.
What's like?
我就觉得他
没有。灵亮。
归你管。Get all that money.
I'm Katy. You're like such a badass.
My pendant. Both know it can't be good.
He left? He did. 6 years. That's how long it took me to realize I didn't need what both.
She's gone, dude.
Come on!
No, screw you. I'm not doing this.
Have you made...
Cool wind him.
I was right.
Is there another exit?
Prepare the men for war.
The first time Planet of the Apes eyes. After the film, I said, it's not real monkeys to act that brilliantly.
Became an actor because you thought the
Acting as if...
You found your passion.
No, yeah, thanks.
Um,
About timing. mystery vessel for the infinite wisdom. Vast unknown universe. You can go, he says go. You should speed up.
Hard right where? It's all about. Eats us. What does that mean?
5 meters!
Stay in the pocket. You might want to.
Is go through that waterfall and we. Yeah, I think those birds are mates of his. Oh. Horse.
Xialing, 朋友 Katy
上去。
你这是在干什么？难。Way home.
We don't have much time.
Over 4,000 years.
Hey guys, today we're diving deep into the mystical, martial arts spectacle that is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It's a journey filled with family drama, epic battles, and some truly stunning visual effects. If you like this sneak peek, hit the like button and subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel, and let me know you want more. Our story kicks off with a look back. Way back at Wenwu, the enigmatic leader of the Ten Rings organization. For 1,000 years, this guy has been wielding 10 powerful, mystical rings that grant him immortality, superhuman strength, and the ability to control and manipulate energy. He's been basically shaping history from the shadows, conquering empires and toppling governments, all thanks to these ancient artifacts. He's seen it all, done it all, and frankly, he's probably pretty bored by the time our actual story starts. The rings are less a fashion accessory and more an extension of his will, clanging and humming with raw power, leaving a trail of legends and whispers wherever he goes. But even a millennia-old supervillain can't escape the feels, right? Wenwu, in his quest for more power, stumbles upon the mythical village of Ta Lo, a secret dimension hidden behind a mystical bamboo forest. Think Narnia, but with more kung fu and less talking lions. He arrives, rings humming with intent, ready to conquer this new realm. However, he's met by the stunningly powerful guardian of Ta Lo, Xialing Li. Their first encounter isn't a friendly hello, but an incredibly choreographed, almost balletic fight sequence. It's less about brute force and more about grace and precision. We hear the subtle whoosh of their movements, the soft thud of their landings as they glide through the bamboo. It's clear their fighting styles are perfectly matched, a beautiful dance of attack and defense. And as these things often do, their mutual respect quickly blossoms into something more, proving that even immortal warlords can fall head over heels. The rings themselves seem to hum a little softer round Li, almost as if sensing her calming influence. Wenwu, for the first time in 1,000 years, decides to hang up his mystical rings. Literally. He places them in a box, vowing to live a normal life with Xialing Li, building a home, raising their two children, Shang-Chi and Xialing. It's a genuinely sweet montage of domesticity, the sounds of wood being carved, children's laughter, the gentle rustle of leaves around their secluded home. He's traded his iron fist for a gentle touch, his conquering ambitions for quiet evenings with his family. But as we all know, true love and eternal peace rarely last in superhero movies. This idyllic bubble eventually bursts in the most heartbreaking way possible. It's a painful reminder that even when you try to escape your past, sometimes your past has a way of catching up to you, often with a loud, metallic clanging sound. Tragedy strikes when old enemies from Wenwu's past, A syndicate he'd wronged attack their home. Yingli, ever the protector, bravely fights them off, but ultimately sacrifices herself to save her young son, Shang-Chi. The sounds of breaking glass, frantic shouts, and finally, the heartbreaking silence of loss fill the air. The crack of a punch, the muted thud of a body hitting the floor. This catastrophic event shatters Wenwu's newfound peace. Consumed by grief and a thirst for vengeance, he retrieves his 10 rings, their familiar hum now a rumble of impending retribution. He becomes the ruthless leader he once was, brutally eliminating his wife's killers. For young Shang-Chi, this isn't just loss. It's the beginning of a harsh, unforgiving regimen. Wenwu begins to train his son to be an assassin, a weapon to avenge his mother, pushing him to his absolute limits. We see the young boy's grunts of effort, the sharp snap of wooden training dummies, the metallic whisper of blades, as his childhood is stolen and replaced with a relentless, brutal discipline. It's a classic case of tough love, if tough love involved becoming a lethal weapon for your grieving. Immortal Warlord Dad, the moment arrives when a teenage Shang-Chi is sent on his first mission, tasked with assassinating the man responsible for his mother's death. But Shang-Chi, despite his brutal training, cannot bring himself to take a life. The heavy silence of his inner conflict is almost audible. He drops the knife, the clatter echoing in his ears, and makes a choice that changes everything. He runs. He flees from his father, from his past, and from the destiny laid out for him. We then jump forward to the present day, where Shang-Chi, now going by Sean, lives a seemingly carefree life in San Francisco. He works as a valet with his best friend, Katy, and their days are filled with late-night karaoke, casual banter, and pretending to be adults. The cacophony of city life, the laughter, the gentle hum of cars, all replace the harsh sounds of his past. It's a stark contrast to his childhood, a deliberate attempt to bury the lethal skills and dark memories under layers of normalcy. He's basically living his best life, utterly oblivious to the fact that his past is about to hit him harder than a bus. Literally, Sean and Katy are just cruising along on a public bus, minding their own business, probably planning their next karaoke session when suddenly, their chill afternoon is rudely interrupted. A group of masked assassins, led by the formidable Razor Fist, whose arm is, you guessed it, a giant razor, boards the bus. Their target? Shang-Chi, or rather, the pendant he wears, a gift from his mother. The once mundane bus ride transforms into an insane, metal-crunching, window-shattering brawl. We hear the shouts of panicked passengers, the clang of Razor Fist's weapon, and the sharp, decisive thuds of Shang-Chi's strikes. He's forced to dust off those dormant martial arts skills he tried so hard to forget. Katy, bless her heart, is absolutely bewildered, going from wow, my best friend has some moves, to wait, is my best friend actually Jason Bourne? In about 30 seconds. It's a whirlwind of flips, kicks, and perfectly timed dodges as Shang-Chi takes down the 10 Rings operatives. The sounds of ripping seats and shattered glass underscore the sudden, brutal return of his past. He manages to save Katy and retrieve his pendant, but the message is clear. His old life isn't just knocking. It's basically busted down the front door with a razor-sharp arm, realizing his past has caught up. Shang-Chi, with Katy tagging along, follows a cryptic clue to Macau. He hopes to warn his estranged sister, Xialing, who he hasn't seen since he ran away, leaving her to deal with their dad alone. Now, you might expect to find her living a quiet life, perhaps running a nice little tea shop. Nope. Instead, they discover Xialing is the formidable owner and operator of a high-stakes, underground fight club. The club is a symphony of gritty sounds, the roar of the crowd, the thud of punches landing, the clang of metal against metal, and the pulsating beat of the background music. She's built an empire from scratch, fueled by her own resilience and resourcefulness, a direct contrast to Xiangkai, who ran away from his responsibilities. It's immediately clear she's not just a businesswoman. She's a fighter, and a damn good one at that, having trained herself to overcome the limitations their father placed on her. The scene hums with an almost palpable tension, a blend of excitement and danger, as Xiangkai watches his sister, a woman he barely recognizes, dominate the ring. Their reunion is, as you'd expect, pretty awkward, filled with unspoken resentments and the heavy weight of a shared, traumatic past. Xialing has every right to be angry, feeling abandoned by her brother. Just as they start to air their grievances, the Ten Rings crash the party again, this time led by dear old dad, Wenwu himself. The sudden chaos, the sounds of explosions, the shattering glass, and the guttural roars of Ten Ring soldiers completely disrupt the tense family chat. Wenwu reveals his master plan. He wants both Xiangkai and Xialing's pendants. It turns out their mother, Yingli, had two pendants, and both are necessary to reveal the path to Ta Lo. He believes Li is alive, trapped behind a sealed gate in Ta Lo, and he's determined to rescue her, even if it means tearing apart the very world she tried to protect. The metallic clang of the rings as Wenwu demonstrates his power sends a chill down your spine. It's not just an attack, it's a family intervention, Ten Ring style, and nobody is happy about it, especially the guy with the razor hand, who's just trying to do his job. What follows is a heart-pounding chase sequence through the neon-lit labyrinth of Macau, Shanghai. Xialing and Katy find themselves scrambling across precarious scaffolding and scaling high-rise buildings, with the Ten Rings hot on their heels. The sounds are a symphony of desperation, the creaking of metal underfoot, the whoosh of punches, the desperate shouts, and Katy's hilarious, terrified squeals as she somehow manages to keep up. Xialing, with her precise and powerful martial arts, is a force to be reckoned with, taking down enemies with graceful efficiency. Xiangkai, unleashing his full potential, moves like a blur. Even Katy gets in on the action, using her surprisingly adept driving skills, gained from, being a valet, to navigate a construction lift through the chaos. It's a fantastic showcase of their individual talents, a desperate ballet of survival against overwhelming odds. The air hums with adrenaline, the metallic clang of scaffolding a constant reminder of their perilous situation. They manage to escape, but it's clear that running from Wenwu is a full-time job, and he's not about to give up his search and rescue mission for Li. The fight leaves a ringing in their ears, a clear message that their journey is far from over. Their escape is short-lived, as the trio is inevitably captured and brought to Wenwu's fortified compound. It's less a warm family reunion and more of an audience with the patriarch kind of vibe. Inside, they make an unexpected acquaintance, Trevor Slattery. Yes, that Trevor Slattery, the actor who famously impersonated the Mandarin in Iron Man 3 before being kidnapped by the real Ten Rings. He's been held captive there ever since. Mostly for his comedic value, it seems. He's accompanied by Morris, a Dijon, which is basically a faceless, winged, fluffy pig dog creature from Ta Lo. Morris communicates through grunts and nudges, somehow understood perfectly by Trevor. The sudden shift in tone, from intense action to Trevor's theatrical rambling and Morris's adorable noises, is a welcome, albeit bizarre, moment of levity. Trevor, despite his confinement, remains wonderfully eccentric, regaling them with tales of his past, punctuated by the rustle of Morris's fur and the occasional snort. He provides crucial information about Ta Lo and the path to it, making him less of a prisoner and more of an extremely well-informed, albeit slightly mad, tour guide. It's a reminder that even in the darkest dungeons, a bit of unexpected charm can light things up. especially when it comes in the form of a theatrical actor and a fluffy beastie, Wenwu. Driven by grief and a deep conviction that Yingli is trying to communicate with him from behind the Ta Lo gate, prepares his vast Ten Rings army for an invasion. The compound buzzes with a menacing energy, the heavy thud of marching boots, the metallic clatter of weapons, and the low rumble of Wenwu's commands. Shang-Chi, Xialing, Katy, and Trevor, realizing the catastrophic implications of Wenwu breaking into Ta Lo, decide they must stop him. They make a daring escape from Wenwu's compound, sneaking past guards and utilizing their unique skills, Trevor's distraction abilities proving surprisingly useful. Their journey is fraught with peril, a desperate race against time to reach Ta Lo before Wenwu unleashes something truly terrible. The sounds of their hurried footsteps, the whisper of the wind, and Morris's excited grunts accompany them as they rush towards an uncertain future. It's a classic race against time to save the world, and also maybe my emotionally stunted dad scenario. What could possibly go wrong, right? Guided by Morris, the group embarks on their perilous journey towards Ta Lo. Their path takes them through a mesmerizing, ever-shifting bamboo forest that actively tries to disorient and trap intruders. The rustle and creak of the bamboo, seemingly alive, create an ethereal, almost unnerving atmosphere. It's like a very aggressive, very green maze. Finally, they reach a shimmering, almost liquid portal, the air around it humming with mystical energy. Stepping through, they are immediately transported to the breathtaking, vibrant world of Ta Lo. The sounds shift dramatically from the tense forest to the gentle rush of waterfalls, the chirping of exotic birds, and the soft rustle of leaves in this hidden paradise. It's a truly awe-inspiring sight filled with fantastical creatures and ancient, serene beauty. The air here feels different, almost electric, humming with unseen magic. Katy's jaw probably hits the floor, and honestly, who could blame her? It's like an ancient Chinese painting just decided to come to life. And it's way better than whatever San Francisco had to offer that day. Upon arrival, they are greeted by Ying Nan, Shang-Chi and Xialing's and Ying Li's sister. The reunion is bittersweet, filled with hugs and a quiet understanding of shared grief. Ying Nan welcomes them, explaining the true history of Ta Lo and their mother's connection to it. She reveals the truth about Wenwu's perceived messages. It's not Li calling to him, but the dweller in darkness and ancient, soul-devouring entity imprisoned behind a magical gate in Ta Lo. The gate has been weakened over centuries, and the dweller in darkness is manipulating Wenwu's grief, mimicking Li's voice to trick him into releasing it. The gravity of the situation settles heavily on the group, the gentle sounds of Ta Lo now tinged with a looming dread. Nan's voice, calm and measured, explains the immense danger. The whispers of the dwellers influence a chilling undertone to her words. It's the ultimate bait-and switch, a literal demon playing on a widower's heartbreak, which, frankly, is a pretty low blow even for a soul-sucking monster. This makes Wenwu not just a villain, but a tragic figure manipulated by a far greater evil. It's a lot to take in, especially for Katy, who just wanted to sing karaoke, occasionally parallel park fancy cars, with Wenwu and his army rapidly approaching. Shang-Chi and Xialing dedicate themselves to training with the Ta Lo villagers. This isn't the brutal, rigid training from their father. It's a fluid, graceful, almost spiritual form of martial arts inspired by their mother's movements. The sounds of their practice are soft, almost meditative, the swish of fabric, the gentle thud of feet on grass, the rhythmic walk of staves colliding. Shang-Chi begins to truly embrace his heritage, learning to harmonize his power with the mystical energy of Ta Lo. A stark contrast to the raw power of the Ten Rings, Xialing, too, refines her self-taught style, integrating the Ta Lo movements to become an even more formidable fighter. Even Katy tries her hand at archery, showing surprising aptitude, though her initial attempts probably sound more like a twig snapping than an arrow zipping. The air is thick with anticipation and the hum of focused effort as they prepare for the inevitable clash, not just with their father, but with the ancient evil he unknowingly serves. It's less a boot camp and more like a find your inner Kai before your dad accidentally releases an apocalypse kind of retreat. The moment of truth arrives as Wenwu and his massive Ten Rings army breach the bamboo forest. Their heavy footsteps and the metallic clang of the rings announcing their presence with terrifying certainty. They arrive at the Dark Gate, the prison of the Dweller in Darkness. Shang-Chi, now confident in his newfound understanding of his heritage, steps forward to confront his father. Their exchange is tense, the air crackling with unspoken emotions and the raw power of two opposing forces. Shang-Chi desperately tries to reason with Wenwu, explaining the deception, the manipulation by the Dweller in Darkness. But Wenwu, blinded by grief and 1,000 years of stubbornness, refuses to believe him. The phantom whispers of Li's voice, amplified by the Dweller, are all he hears, drowning out his son's pleas. The immense power emanating from the Ten Rings, their low hum a prelude to destruction, reinforces Wenwu's unwavering conviction. It's a heartbreaking scene of familial conflict, where love and pain are twisted into a destructive force. And the son watches helplessly as his father walks towards certain doom, convinced he's doing the right thing. Reason fails, and Wenwu, resolute in his grief-fueled mission, orders his army to attack the Ta Lo villagers. The battle explodes with a cacophony of sound, the clang of metal against shields, the whoosh of magic, the shouts of warriors, and the roar of fantastic creatures. The Ten Ring soldiers, with their advanced weaponry and ruthless efficiency, clash against the magically imbued Ta Lo defenders. Just when things look bleak for the villagers, the mystical creatures of Ta Lo join the fray. Dragons soar through the air with majestic roars, their scales glinting, and various fantastical beasts charge into the melee, turning the tide of the battle. The air crackles with energy, the ground trembles with impacts, and the distinct sounds of a massive war, thuds, crashes, explosions, fill every corner of the screen. Katy, surprisingly, finds herself in the thick of it, using her newfound archery skills with unexpected precision, her arrows zipping through the air. It's a truly epic spectacle, a clash of ancient magic and modern might, all set against the backdrop of a desperate struggle to prevent an even greater evil from being unleashed. Talk about a family reunion gone sideways. This makes Thanksgiving dinner arguments look like a quiet chess match, while the battle rages, a maelstrom of chaos and noise. Wenwu remains singularly focused on his objective, opening the Dark Gate. He channels the immense power of the Ten Rings, their radiant energy humming and crackling as he directs their force towards the ancient seal. The ground shakes, the air vibrates with raw power, and the deafening roar of the rings as they impact the gate drowns out all other sounds. It's a moment of desperate, tragic determination. Shang-Chi and Xialing fight frantically to reach him, screaming at him to stop, but their voices are lost in the colossal surge of energy. Wenwu, believing he's about to be reunited with his beloved Li, unleashes a final, devastating blast, and the ancient, magical seal shatters. The sound of the gate breaking is like 1,000 years of stone crumbling, followed by an ominous, terrifying silence. He's done it! He's opened the door to ultimate darkness, proving that sometimes, even a millennia-old super-powered warlord can be a little bit gullible when love is involved. The release of the gate sends a tremor through the world, a chilling precursor to the horror about to unfold. From the newly shattered Dark Gate emerges not Yang Li, but the terrifying Dweller in Darkness. This colossal, shadowy entity, with its piercing, malevolent red eyes and tentacled form, is pure, unadulterated nightmare fuel. Its guttural roar echoes through the valley, a sound that chills you to the bone and drains the color from the vibrant Ta Lo landscape. Immediately, it begins to feed, its tendrils lashing out and literally siphoning the souls from the Ten-Ring soldiers, leaving behind withered, lifeless husks. The desperate screams of the soldiers, abruptly cut short, are horrifying. Wenwu watches in dawning horror, the truth finally dawning on him. He realizes he has been cruelly manipulated and has doomed everyone. The Ten Rings, once instruments of his power, now feel like dead weight in his hands, impotent against this cosmic horror. The creature's movements are deliberate, a slow, terrifying unfurling of ancient evil, its presence a suffocating pressure in the air. This is definitely not the family reunion Wenwu had in mind, unless family now includes an ancient demon with a penchant for existential dread and soul snacks. He's probably rethinking his life choices right about now. In a desperate attempt to stop his father and the monstrous entity he unleashed, Shang-Chi confronts Wenwu. Their final duel is not just a fight. It's a deeply emotional clash of ideals and a lifetime of pain. Shang-Chi, wielding a staff, combines his mother's fluid Ta Lo style with his father's powerful techniques, creating a unique and formidable combat form. The clash of staff against the metallic rings produces sharp, resonant thwacks and clangs that echo through the chaos. Wenwu, now riddled with remorse and the realization of his terrible error, fights with a newfound desperation, not to win, but to protect his son. In a heart-wrenching moment, as the Dweller in Darkness closes in, Wenwu makes the ultimate sacrifice. He tries to pass the Ten Rings to Shang-Chi, a symbolic gesture of trust and legacy, but the Dweller in Darkness strikes first. The deafening roar of the monster, followed by the sickening thud of its attack, rips them apart. It's a moment of profound tragedy, where a father's attempt at redemption is brutally cut short by the very evil he unwittingly served. The air is thick with the dust of battle and the raw sting of loss. The Dweller in Darkness delivers a mortal blow to Wenwu, its shadowy tendrils absorbing his life force. The metallic clang of the 10 rings as they fall from his grasp is a gut-wrenching sound. With his dying breath, in a final act of paternal love and redemption, Wenwu manages to push the 10 rings towards Shang-Chi. The rings, humming with ancient power, seem to recognize their new wielder, latching onto Shang-Chi's arms. The transition is seamless, almost faded, and Shang-Chi feels the surge of their immense power course through him. He finally embraces his destiny, not as his father's weapon, but as his own hero, a protector embodying the best of both his parents. The rings now resonate with a new kind of energy, infused with his own spirit and the lessons learned from both his mother and father. The roar of the Dweller in Darkness, now redirected towards Shang-Chi, fuels his resolve. This isn't just a power-up. It's a culmination of his entire journey, a moment of profound self-acceptance and purpose. He's no longer running. He's ready to face down an apocalypse, even if it means clanging those rings in style. It's time to show this soul-sucking entity what happens when you mess with a guy who just got a serious power upgrade. Now, wielding the immense power of the 10 rings, Shang-Chi rises, glowing with newfound energy, ready to face the colossal Dweller in Darkness. The rings hum and clatter with incredible force, an extension of his will. His mother's teachings, her graceful and fluid fighting style, merges with the raw power of his father's rings, creating a truly unique and formidable combat form. The ensuing battle is an aerial ballet of destruction. Shang-Chi, zipping through the air, unleashes devastating energy blasts and powerful punches, each strike punctuated by the resounding clang of the rings. The Dweller in Darkness retaliates with its terrifying tendrils, its guttural roars, and the sickening sounds of its attacks filling the air. This isn't just a physical fight. It's a battle for the very soul of Ta Lo and potentially the world. Xialing and the Talo warriors assist, launching arrows and magical attacks, their shouts of encouragement adding to the thunderous din. Even Katy plays her part, demonstrating surprising skill with a dragon bow. The visual spectacle is breathtaking, but it's the sheer force and the resonating power of the rings that truly stands out, each impact vibrating through the viewer. Shang-Chi isn't just fighting. He's dancing, dodging, and delivering blows with a precision that would make his mother proud, even against a monster that could probably swallow a small car whole. He's definitely got the hero look down, and frankly, those rings just complete the outfit. In the climax of the epic battle, Shang-Chi, with the strategic assistance of the majestic Great Protector Dragon, whose roars shake the very mountains, and the combined efforts of Xialing, Katy, and the Talo warriors, finds the perfect moment to deliver the finishing blow. The Great Protector's powerful blast and the dragon's thunderous thuds create openings. Shang-Chi channels every ounce of his Kai, amplifying the power of the 10 rings. The rings glow with an intensity never before seen, their combined hum rising to a crescendo. He unleashes a final, monumental energy blast directly into the dweller in darkness. The resulting explosion is deafening, a blinding flash of light that annihilates the creature, reducing it to dust and dissipating its shadowy form. The sudden, eerie silence after the colossal impact is almost as powerful as the explosion itself. Talo is saved, the threat to the world averted. The air, once thick with chaos, now breathes a sigh of relief. The battle is over and Shang-Chi stands victorious, a true hero no longer defined by his father's legacy of conquest, but by his own choices and strength. The sounds of relief, the murmurs of awe, and the gentle lapping of water replace the sounds of war. He's not just a master of kung fu. He's a master of saving the world, and he probably still has time for karaoke. In the quiet aftermath of the monumental battle, amidst the gentle sounds of Talo healing, Shang-Chi and Xialing finally find a true moment of reconciliation. The unspoken resentments, the lingering pain of their shared, tumultuous past begin to dissolve. Their embrace is a quiet sound, a soft rustle of fabric, but it speaks volumes, conveying years of unspoken apologies and forgiveness. They acknowledge their bond, forged not just in childhood trauma, but in the crucible of this epic conflict. Xialing, now more resolved than ever, decides to take over their father's 10 Rings organization, vowing to reshape it for good, to steer it away from destruction and towards a new purpose. Shang-Chi, accepting his identity, is ready to embrace his new role as a hero. They bid farewell to their aunt and the magical realm of Talo, the gentle rustle of the bamboo, and the soft chirping of birds accompanying their departure. The future, while uncertain, is now theirs to define together. It's a bittersweet departure, filled with the promise of new beginnings and perhaps, for Xialing, back in the familiar, bustling streets of San Francisco, Shang-Chi and Katy attempt to resume their normal lives, or at least pretend to. They're back at their usual diner, surrounded by the comforting sounds of clattering plates, casual chatter, and the soft hum of city life. But it's clear their lives are irrevocably changed. How do you go from fighting soul-devouring demons and wielding ancient power to just being a valet? They tried to explain their adventures to their bewildered friends, who, understandably, struggled to grasp the sheer scope of what they've experienced. The sounds of disbelief, mixed with their friends' incredulous laughter, fill the air. The contrast is stark, almost comical, but beneath the surface, there's a quiet understanding between Shang-Chi and Katy. They are bonded by the incredible journey they shared, forever marked by the magic and the mayhem. The hum of everyday life now feels a little different, a little quieter, to those who've heard the roar of dragons and the clang of ancient rings. They've come a long way from parking cars, and honestly, Good for them for trying to ease back into civilian life after saving the universe. That's a story you can't just brush off with, oh, just a regular Tuesday. Just as they're trying to enjoy a semblance of normalcy, a shimmering orange portal slices through the restaurant air, and out steps Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme himself. The sudden whoosh of the portal and Wong's calm, almost bored demeanor immediately signals that normal is officially cancelled for the evening. He's not there for a casual dinner. He's there to summon Shang-Chi and Katy for a very important meeting. Wong takes them to a holographic conference call with none other than Bruce Banner, looking very much like himself again, and Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. The faint hum of the holographic display and the echoes of their voices fill the space. They're concerned about the 10 rings, their immense power, and their unknown origin. The rings are emitting a beacon, an unknown signal being sent across the cosmos, and they have no idea why. It's a huge cliffhanger, a clear indication that Shang-Chi's journey is far from over. The gentle thud of Wong closing the portal leaves us and Shang-Chi with the undeniable truth. He's now officially part of the larger Marvel universe, whether he wanted to be or not. Guess valet parking is really off the table now, huh? In a fantastic post-credits scene, we return to Wenwu's former compound, now under Xialing's command. The clatter of equipment, the focused grunts of training, and the new, empowered atmosphere fill the space. She's completely taken over, true to her word, and she's not just running things. She's revolutionizing them. We see her removing the old, rigid 10-ring symbol, replacing it with a new, bolder, and more modern design. Crucially, she's also training women, integrating them into the organization's ranks, effectively dismantling its patriarchal past and building something new, something that truly reflects her strength and vision. The sharp, decisive sounds of women training, their focused breath, and the impact of their strikes underscore this significant shift. It's a powerful statement of female empowerment and a promise of an exciting future for the 10 rings. Xialing isn't just leading, she's transforming, taking what was once a symbol of oppression and turning it into a beacon of strength and opportunity. She's basically the CEO of a global criminal enterprise, but like a really cool, progressive one. Way to go, Xialing, smashing the patriarchy one well-placed kick at a time. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our recap for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings. This movie isn't just about incredible martial arts and fantastical creatures. It's a powerful narrative about identity, family, and finding your place in a world far bigger than you ever imagined. Shang-Chi's journey from a young man trying to escape his past to embracing his heritage and becoming a hero reminds us that our greatest strengths often lie in accepting all parts of ourselves, the good and the complicated. It's a testament to resilience, the beauty of cultural storytelling, and the enduring power of love and sacrifice. His story teaches us that even when confronted with the darkest parts of our family history, we have the power to choose our own path and shape our own destiny. With a few super-powered friends and a magical furry pig dog along the way, embrace your unique journey, for it is in those struggles and discoveries that we truly find our legend. Thank you for joining me on this recap. Keep those rings spinning and remember, your story is